guys, my name is Kowan Fu and I will discuss about the first question, which is the subtitle, the business symbiosis between China and Hong Kong. In my opinion, I totally agree with the metaphor, which is the business symbiosis between China and Hong Kong. Before 1993, the mainland of China was the second largest domestic export destination of Hong Kong, followed by the USA. But in 1993, the mainland of China replaced the USA and became the largest destination of domestic export of Hong Kong until today. On average, the value of domestic export to the mainland accounted for around 26% of Hong Kong total domestic export in the past decade. Although in 1997, by following the 1984 agreement between the Chinese and British government, Chinese resumed sovereignty over Hong Kong. But China and Hong Kong have operated in a sort of business symbiosis long before 1997, accounting for on average 38% and 33% of Hong Kong total imports and re-export respectively over the period. Whenever China was out of export quota for products such as textile and clothing, Hong Kong trader was always need to re-export the Chinese goods by using Hong Kong export quota endorsement. At the same time, Hong Kong has been for many years the leading foreign direct investor in China, contributing directly to China's economic growth and modernization. In recent years, many Hong Kong-based companies shift their manufacturing facilities to China, and the tandem of the two economies has become the region's top business hub. It is obvious that China GDP has increased over years. Their industry posts major gain, especially in coastal area near Hong Kong, where foreign investment helps spur output of both domestic and export goods. According to China Custom Export Statistics, Hong Kong was fourth largest trading partner of the mainland in 1998. Mainland import from Hong Kong amounted to around $6.66 billion in 1998, while export to Hong Kong was $38.75 billion. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Hui Yong. Let's talk about the determinant of foreign direct investment in China compared to Hong Kong. First, we talk about the size and growth of China economy and prospect. China has a population of 1.2 billion with a vast potential for consumption. Therefore, investors believe that China market as the last huge market that has not been developed in the world. Over the past few decades, the scale of China economy reconstruction is growing with the people purchasing power increase rapidly. This has made China attractive to the market-oriented FDI. The second factor is the cost and productivity of labor. China has a rich resources of labor. The wages of labor is relatively low level. However, China has paid great education, which is 9-year universal compulsory education. Therefore, the quality of the labor is relatively high. Obviously, China's cheaper labor costs will attract FDI in China. The last point is the technology and infrastructure. In recent years, the China government started to place more emphasis on the technology-intensive investment such as computer, electronic, etc. Currently, the development of high-tech technology has been a top priority in China. Therefore, this will attract the FDI in China. In contrast, Hong Kong has an advantageous geographical location. The population of Hong Kong is 6 times smaller than China, but Hong Kong has an advantageous geographical location. Hong Kong has regional headquarters, business hub, and international financial center. Advantageous geographical location was the major determinant for FDI in Hong Kong. The second factor is sound infrastructure. Unlike China, all telecommunication sector in Hong Kong are non-foreign ownership restriction. The increase reflects a major cross-border merger and acquisition in telecommunications in Hong Kong. The last factor is low tax regime. Hong Kong does not offer targeted incentive regime to overseas investor or foreign-owned firms. Therefore, the duty-free status, low tax rate, good infrastructure, freedom from government interference, and substantial available capital make it attractive to the potential investor and thus competitive with other countries in the region. This is all the main determinant of FDI in China compared to Hong Kong. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is ITgroup1. Hong Kong as a small and open economy country which is inherently vulnerable to the event outside its control. This can be shown by the declining of the number of the regional headquarters of the foreign firms in Hong Kong is decreasing from year 1997 to 1998 due to the several factors. First, the Asian financial crisis in year 1997 have bring the huge impact to the Asian economies which directly influence the profit of the foreign affiliates. Besides that, the privatizations, reforms and promotion of the foreign direct investment by China governments, which encourage research and development institutions to seek the partnership and source the new technology with the foreign affiliates to better adapt the needs of the local market in low cost. This would induce the regional office and the China-related operations to move from the Hong Kong across the border. However, the number of headquarters of foreign firms in Hong Kong remarkably increased after the economic turmoil in year 1997 to 1998. The competitive advantage in trade and logistics have made the Hong Kong become the key entrepôt for mainland. For example, the regional express line which connecting Hong Kong and Pearl River Delta area are one of the effective supply chain systems available. Therefore, Hong Kong plays an important role integrating and coordinating roles for international trade between China and the world. Indirectly, many of the multinationals such as Logitech Asia are making use of Hong Kong as their regional management and coordination hubs in order to enjoy the low tax rate and the simple tax system in Hong Kong. Next, booming of the informational technology and telecommunications sector in year 2000 by cross-border and acquisitions will increase the placement of regional headquarters of foreign firms in Hong Kong. This is because the developments helps to form a better communications bridge between the East and West in the regionals, so it becomes one of the competitive advantage of Hong Kong in global markets. Hong Kong has advantages to preserve its role as center for China international capital raising. Many of the foreign companies use Hong Kong as their preferred locations to staging posts for investing in China because of their mature financial markets, free flows of capitals, and they are protected by fair and transparent courts. Lastly, despite the growing of world economy prospect, Hong Kong still able to act as a magnet to foreign companies with its favorable geographic locations and sound infrastructure. Therefore, it becomes the strength for them to gain a stronghold in fast-growing Asian market. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Nurjana Binti Abdul Ghani. So today I will discuss about question number 4. Okay, from the statement, what you have in China is rosy macro but loosey micro. It shows from the macroeconomic perspective, you should certainly invest in China. But when it comes down to choosing specific stocks to buy, that is not easy. The main problem seems to be that strong economic growth has not necessarily translated into corporate profits. Competition in many domestic sectors is already cutthroat, and with WTO membership, it is likely to get an even fiercer, eroding companies' pricing power still further. For our extra knowledge, the macroeconomic is the knowledge to study the aggregate economy that we have, while the microeconomic is the social science that study the empirical human action. That means the desire of human being in the scarce resources. For example, We design the ways to utilize the resources to meet our desire. Back to the case, the China have achieved average 10% of economic growth over past 30 years. This happened due to the decision making of the China that shift from center frame economic to the market-based economic. This decision making attract huge investment for the investor, and China has successfully become one of the largest exporter which export many manufactured products. However, the microeconomic in China is not going well as the macroeconomic in China. This is due to fierce competition in many domestic industry has become a silent killer for the many companies. This caused China to be a peer for the economy, and due to the macroeconomic in the China is not supported by the microeconomic of China. For example, the China has facing some serious problems like collect overcapacity in some industry and high level of debt. So the statement, what you have in China is rosy macro but losing micro. So you should invest in China from the macroeconomic perspective but not in microeconomic perspective. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Deviana Adnan. Today I will discuss about question number 5. Talking about FDI and portfolio investment in China and Hong Kong, which form of investment we think is more volatile? In our opinion, between FDI and portfolio investment is more volatile. This is because the unexpected situation in this form of investment may cause the increase or decrease of return. Portfolio investment is a form of investment that is very easy to sell off or pull out the investment. For example, bonds, stocks, and any other financial asset. While for the FDI has a long-term interest. It is involved non-financial assets such as equipment, buildings, real estate, technology, and intellectual capital. For example, when China changed their sector of labor-intensive industry to technology-intensive industry, there's a change in movement of China share compared to FDI inflows. China shares increase then decrease over the year, while FDI inflows remain increased. From the movement, we can tell that portfolio investment is very sensitive in change of their determinants. The other reason of portfolio investment is more volatile than FDI because portfolio investment is not actively controlled or managed by the investor. This is because portfolio investment depends on the economic condition of the country, while foreign direct investment is less volatile because FDI can take a direct and controlling stake. The action taken by FDI will allow the investor to control problems between managers and owners, and this will reduce the volatility. The other reason of portfolio investment is more volatile than FDI are because portfolio investment is not actively controlled or managed by the investor. This is because portfolio investment depends on the economic condition of the country, while foreign direct investment is less volatile because FDI can take a direct and controlling stake. The action taken by FDI will allow the investor to control problems between managers and owners, and this will reduce the volatility of this investment. Talking about economic condition, when China and Hong Kong have a good economic condition, portfolio investment will show a positive effect, while the downturn of economy will resulting in dramatic swings in portfolio investment. For example, fear of currency devaluation will make investors to pull out their investment. Changing in the economic situation every year will influence the risk and return of portfolio investment. This will result in the fluctuation of portfolio investment. In conclusion, portfolio investment is more volatile than foreign direct investment. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good good afternoon. I am Abdul Rashidi bin Abdul Rashid. Today, I will discuss about my answer question number 6. From this answer, to me choose where I should to making investment in China or Hong Kong. I, as investor, more prefer to invest in China rather than Hong Kong. I have 4 reasons why I should invest in China. First reason, I choose China because background of country. China is the world's 7th largest economy and the 2nd largest economy in Asia Pacific next to Japan. The second reason, fastest growing of the world's largest economy, which of course will make it progressively bigger in the future to investors. We look from the Hong Kong. Hong Kong economic about 6 times smaller than China, and China also resumed sovereignty over Hong Kong in 1997. At 1978, including increased foreign trade and investment have paid off, and also the GDP has increased 5-fold over the 2 decades since 1980. The second reason I choose China because profile of FDI. The portfolio of FDI and the world investment environment in China has been evolving significantly over the past 2 decades. China also have cheaper labor costs, were the major determinant for foreign investment. It can make cut a little bit the cost of labor in foreign country. In China, have a 400 of future 500 firms has invested in over 2,000 projects in China with various industries such as computer, electronic, telecommunication, equipment, pharmaceutical, petrochemical, power generating equipment, and so on. It can make more competitive in firm from domestic or international business. China also locating R&D activity because can close to the customer base in order to make foreign investor adapt the new technology to needs of the level market. Third reason, stock market in China. China is 2nd largest in Asia after Japan, and China stock market are also the world best performing. It can make the investor very confident when they want to invest in China because this country have a good performing in stock. In China also have a low interest rate, generous government spending including FDP research for civil servants, and powerful wealth effect generated in part by the strong performance of the level A share market during 2000. Government play a role to make stable in the market by encouraging the development of an institution investor base. The last reason I choose China because business law nexus. Today, technology will now invade China on even more massive scale that means more trade, including leading to more laws and a greater need to adhere to them. China have a more law, it can make logically attract more business. For the conclusion, doing investment in China is one good decision to make more profit in future, and also can increase the business in foreign country, also benefit for the main country. When doing investment in China is by no means a quick and easy sprint race, but doing investment in China a fiercely contest long distance run. Thank you.